Another good afternoon. It is a pleasure to see you again and share with you the latest updates on China's development and China-Dominica relations, particularly the major outcomes of the fourth plenary session of the 20th Central Committee of the Communist Party of China. First of all, I want to brief you a little something about the visit of your president to China to attend the global leaders meeting on women. I've seen many female journalists here. That is very important because it's a promotion of a women's cause across the world. On October the 13th, China successfully hosted the global leaders meeting on women. My president, His Excellency Xi Jinping, attended the opening ceremony and delivered a keynote speech in which he put forward 4 proposals and 5 concrete measures for accelerating the all-round development of women. He also announced that China would provide more opportunities and support for global women's development through funding, projects, and training programs. Dominican President His Excellency Sylvanie Berton was invited to attend and deliver remarks. I was at the conference also, and I've taken note that when President Berton spoke, she won several rounds of applause from the audience. She shared many valuable experiences of Dominica in advancing women's development. So I was honored to witness in person the speeches of both President Xi and President Berton and to feel the warm applause from the audience for the 2 leaders. At the summit, President Berton, as the female head of state representing the Latin American and the Caribbean region, received a high-level reception and warm hospitality which fully demonstrated the friendship between China and Dominica. During the event, the 2 leaders also held a bilateral meeting. I was also at the meeting. They highly commended the friendly relations between China and Dominica, agreeing that the 2 countries have set a good example of friendly cooperation between countries with different social systems and of different sizes. Both sides agreed to strengthen practical cooperation in areas such as climate action, infrastructure, clean energy, healthcare, agriculture, and empowerment of women, and to further elevate the bilateral relations so as to deliver greater benefits to the 2 peoples and jointly build a community with a shared future for humanity. Going forward, China stands ready to work with Dominica to follow through on the important consensus reached between President Xi and President Berton reached between the 2 presidents, and to promote China-Dominica relations to new heights. Now, on the 4th plenary session of the 20th Central Committee of the Communist Party of China, I will give you more briefings. On October the 23rd, the 4th plenary session of the 20th Central Committee of the Communist Party of China concluded successfully in Beijing. The major outcome of this session was the deliberation and adoption of the recommendations of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of China for formulating the 15th 5-year plan for economic and social development. It's very long. This document is very important. In China, we make the plan every 5 years for the development of the next 5 years. So this is the 15th. And the plan will be formulated in March next year at the national session of the People's Congress. But before that, as the ruling party, the Communist Party of China would give recommendations in formulating this document. So this document provides the top-level design and strategic blueprint for China's economic and social development over the next 5 years. I will give you an overview of the achievements during the 14th five-year plan period. We are making the plan for the 15th five-year plan, but in generalizing the developments of the 14th, that means the past 5 years. In the past 5 years, achievements made by China. Since 1953, China has formulated 14 five-year plans. Under the guidance of these plans, China has created development miracles that have captured the world's attention. This year marks the conclusion of the 14th five-year plan period. During this period, China has seen its GDP surpassing 130 trillion Chinese currency, which is equivalent to about 14 billion US dollars, something like that. I don't have the rough idea of that. Breakthroughs in such emerging industries as artificial intelligence and new energy. The world's factory, that is China, has become the global innovation powerhouse. China is committed to high standard opening up. China further shortened the negative list for foreign investment, and its overall tariff level has been cut to 7.3%. We forged high-quality Belt and Road cooperation ties with more than 150 countries and over 30 international organizations. China's contribution to global economic growth has stood at around 30%. That is to say, China contributes 30% to the growth of the economy across the world, making it a key driver and a source of growth for global development. The global significance of the 15th five-year plan I'm going to talk about. Next year will mark the first year of the 15th five-year plan period. At present, the world is witnessing intertwined changes and turbulence, with unilateralism and protectionism on the rise, and hegemonism and power politics posing growing threats. The international economic and trade order is facing severe challenges. In recent months, we have seen certain countries going against the trend of the times, taking actions that seriously threaten peace and stability in the Caribbean region. Against this complex and evolving international landscape, China's 15th five-year plan sends out a strong message that the consistency of China's policy and its steady economic growth and development prospect provide valuable certainty to this volatile world. So what are the major goals for economic and social development during the 15th five-year plan period? Looking ahead to China's development goals for the next 5 years, it is important to view them within the broader context of the country's long-term development trajectory. Under the strong leadership of the Communist Party of China, China has always pursued clear and consistent development objectives. In 2012, the 18th CPC National Congress set forth the 2 centenary goals to complete the building of a moderately prosperous society in all respects by the centenary of the CPC in 2021. That is number 1 objective. Number 2, we are going to build China into a great modern socialist country in all respects by the centenary of the People's Republic of China in 2049. Just now I said the first objective would be completed in 2021, and we have realized that objective. And the second objective will be realized in the year of, or by the year of 2049, when it is the 100th anniversary of the founding of the People's Republic of China. In 2022, President Xi, in his report to the 20th CPC National Congress, outlined a two-step strategic plan for the second objective, which is building a modern socialist country in all respects, with the first stage, that is from 2020 to 2035, which will take 15 years, aimed at basically realizing socialist modernization. This 15-year period corresponds to 3 consecutive 5-year plan cycles, and the upcoming 15th 5-year plan period will serve as a crucial stage that links past achievements with future progress, a period for laying solid foundations and making all-round efforts towards the long-term vision. By 2035, when socialist modernization is basically realized, China's economic strength, scientific and technological capabilities, national defense capabilities, composite national strength, and international influence will all be remarkably stronger. China's per capita GDP will be on the par with that of a mid-level developed country by that time. At that time, and Chinese people will live better and happier lives. In line with this overarching vision, the fourth plenary session set forth 7 main objectives for China's economic and social development in the next 5 years. Number 1, significant achievements in high-quality development. Number 2, substantial improvements in scientific and technological self-reliance and strength. Number 3, fresh breakthroughs in further deepening reform comprehensively. Number 4, notable cultural and ethical progress across society. Number 5, further improvements in quality of life. Number 6, major new strides in advancing the Beautiful China initiative. And number 7, further advances in strengthening the national security shield. So that is the 7 major objectives that we are going to realize by or in the year of 2035. Strategic tasks and main measures during the 15th 5-year plan period. After setting the main goals, the fourth plenary session mainly focuses on the key issues bearing on overall and long-term interests and makes sector-specific arrangements for strategic tasks and main measures during the 15th 5-year plan period. We have made the plans for almost the fields that we are going to be focused on. It discusses approaches and major tasks in the key areas of industrial development, scientific and technological innovation, the domestic market, economic structure, opening up, rural revitalization, coordinated regional development, cultural development, public well-being, green development, security and development, and national defense. I would like to focus on several areas of particular interest to our friends here in Dominica. One is opening up. By opening up, we are saying that China will open its door wider to the outside world. The session underscored that opening up and cooperation for mutual benefit are integral to Chinese modernization. We must continue to expand opening up at the institutional level, safeguard the multilateral trading system, and promote broader international economic flows. We should draw momentum from opening up to propel reform and development and share opportunities with the rest of the world and promote common development. Over the next 5 years, China will strengthen strategic alignment with Belt and Road partners and better coordinate and manage cooperation programs. We should enhance connectivity in terms of both infrastructure and rules and standards and foster closer bonds with the people in these countries. We need to refine the multi-dimensional network connecting partner countries and advance both major signature projects and small and beautiful public well-being projects. We should deepen practical cooperation in the areas of trade, investment, industrial development, and people-to-people exchanges, and launch new cooperation initiatives across the fields such as green development, AI, the digital economy, health, tourism, and agriculture. China and Dominica are both members of the Belt and Road family. Dominica officially joined the initiative in 2018, and in 2024, on the occasion of the 20th anniversary of our diplomatic ties, our two countries signed a new cooperation document and jointly building the Belt and Road, ushering bilateral cooperation into a new stage. In Dominica, major signature projects such as the new international airport and the post-hurricane reconstruction of schools, as well as some housing projects, are vivid examples of how our cooperation benefits the people. Meanwhile, under the Small and Beautiful initiative, children play joyfully in China-aided playgrounds. Families have their roofs repaired and their sanitation facilities upgraded with Chinese support. I personally visited some of the families, seeing how they improve their living condition here in Dominica. And the Chinese Agricultural Mission, the medical team, and the Confucius Classroom continue to provide quality services year after year. As President Xi and President Burton agreed during their recent meeting, deepening practical cooperation is a key driver for elevating China-Dominica relations to a higher level. China's ongoing high standard opening up will surely bring even greater tangible benefits to our two peoples. Green development. The plenary session emphasized that green development is a defining feature of Chinese modernization. We must unwaveringly uphold the principle that Lucy waters and lush mountains are invaluable assets and put it into concrete action. I've seen Lucy waters and lush mountains here in Dominica. We can make full use of it to make it a more valuable assets for the country, for the Commonwealth of Dominica. Guided by our goals of achieving peak carbon emissions and carbon neutrality, we should make concerted efforts to cut carbon emissions, reduce pollution, pursue green development, and boost economic growth. We must reinforce our ecological security shields and strengthen our green development drivers. Over the next 5 years, China will press ahead with the critical battle against pollution and the drive to upgrade ecosystems. We should follow a holistic and systematic approach to the conservation and improvement of mountain, water, forest, farmland, grassland, and desert ecosystems, and coordinate efforts to advance major projects for protecting and restoring key ecosystems. We should also move faster to develop a new type of energy system and accelerate the shift to eco-friendly production practices and lifestyles. China will also work actively and prudently toward peaking carbon emissions, including implementing controls over both the total amount and the intensity of carbon emissions, pushing ahead with retrofitting for energy conservation and carbon emissions reductions, working toward reaching peak consumption of coal and petroleum. We should develop distributed energy sources and build zero carbon factories and industrial parks. We should improve the working system for climate change adaptation to bolster our ability to respond to climate change, especially extreme weather conditions. As the biggest major developing country, China is still one of the developing states. Like Dominica, we are standing side by side in Global South. China has been a staunch doer in and important contributor to green development. China has announced that we are actively and prudently working towards our goals on carbon peak and carbon neutrality. We will make the world's biggest cut in carbon emissions intensity and move from carbon peak to carbon neutrality in the shortest time frame ever seen in history. In September, President Xi announced China's nationally determined contributions in his remarks at the United Nations Climate Summit and noted that we have the resolve and confidence to deliver on our commitments. He called on all countries to step up actions to realize the beautiful vision of harmony between man and nature and preserve planet Earth. Climate resilience and disaster prevention have also become vital aspects of China-Dominica cooperation. From major projects such as the international airport and the schools to community river defense walls construction, we have just finished the Koliho River Defense Wall. Resilience considerations are integral to all designs. When meeting with President Burton and Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt last year, President Xi has reaffirmed that China attaches great importance to the issues of small island developing states related to climate change and will continue supporting Dominica in enhancing capabilities in climate action and disaster prevention and mitigation. At the fourth ministerial meeting of the China CELAC Forum, you still remember, I gave a briefing on the fourth ministerial meeting of the China CELAC Forum that took place in May. So at the end of May, I gave you the briefing about it. Both sides, China and Latin American and the Caribbean countries, included climate change cooperation, environmental protection, and disaster risk management in the China CELAC Joint Action Plan, under the guidance of our leaders and the China CELAC Forum Framework. China and Dominica cooperation in climate resilience and disaster prevention is set to reach new heights. Global governance. The plenary session also called for promoting the building of a community with a shared future for humanity. Over the next 5 years, China will promote an equal and orderly multipolar world and universally beneficial and inclusive economic globalization, expand our global network of partnerships, and foster a new type of international relations. We should work with neighboring countries to advance integrated development, strengthen common security, and consolidate strategic mutual trust, and build a community with a shared future among neighboring countries. China has many neighboring countries. So we have to work together with those countries because we are closer, and we are going to build a community with a shared future among neighboring countries. We should maintain overall stability in major country relations and deepen solidarity and cooperation with other developing countries, with Dominica included. We should act on the Global Development Initiative, the Global Security Initiative, the Global Civilization Initiative, and the Global Governance Initiative, and work to guide the development of the international order in a more just and equitable direction. Just now I mentioned the 4 initiatives, the 4 global initiatives that were proposed by my president, His Excellency Xi Jinping, in recent years. We should support the Global South in building strength through unity, step up aid to other countries, and provide the world with more public goods. We must resolutely oppose all hegemonic and high-handed and bullying acts, defend international fairness and justice, and safeguard the common interests of people around the world. We should champion the common values of all humanity, promote the building of an open, inclusive, clean, and beautiful world of lasting peace, universal security, and common prosperity, and deliver China's contribution to building a community with a shared future for humanity. This year marks the 80th anniversary of the victory of the World Anti-Fascist War and the founding of the United Nations. Yet, despite this symbolic year for global governance, the world remains turbulent and uncertain, facing an ever-widening governance deficit. President Xi, in September, put forward a global governance initiative. That is the 4th global initiative he proposed in recent years, guided by 5 key principles. Number 1, adhering to sovereignty equality. Adhering to sovereign equality. Number 2, abiding by international rule of law. Number 3, practicing multilateralism. Number 4, advocating the people-centered approach. Number 5, focusing on taking real actions. So this global governance initiative offers China's wisdom and solutions for improving global governance. Today, the Global South is growing stronger and play a more active role in safeguarding peace, promoting development, and improving global governance. China, as the largest developing country, and Dominica, an important country in the Caribbean and a good friend and partner of China. So China and Dominica are both part of the Global South. We are ready to work with Dominica and all other countries to promote greater democracy in international relations, to make the global governance system better, reflect the interests and aspirations of the majority of countries, and to increase the representation and say of developing countries, opening up a bright future of peace, security, prosperity, and progress. So that concludes what I would like to share with you today. If you have any questions regarding China's development or China-Dominica cooperation, I would be happy to take them. Thank you. Good. Okay, thank you. So we're happy to see you. You have had